So playing this character, was it emotionally trying for you to be able?
Was it emotionally trying? Yes, it's emotionally trying at times because the scenarios that we're put in, these are real scenarios, and understanding that this is where, a lot of our people, a lot of our heritage and a lot of our strength today, as we understand it, comes from. You can't help but tap into it. So there, the scenes where you got people getting beat, you got people fighting for their lives, pleading for their lives. It's it takes you to a place that's it's hard to explain, but it's hard to get out of that place. I mean, we'll sit there for a day going through a scene, and by the time you get done, you're so emotionally drained. When you get home, you can barely move, just because you're in the mindset of the fact that people actually were dehumanized in such humiliating ways. But then again, understanding that these people take on their strengths and use what they can to get by, there are a lot of points to admire about what they went through and how they got through it. Because again, this is the foundation for where a lot of our strength comes from today, and resilience. Unfortunately, a lot of that gets forgotten, and we need to kind of remind ourselves today. Yeah.
True. So being that you played a slave in the 1800s and now we're here in 2015, what progress do you think that we have made as people of color?
What progress do I think that we've made as a black culture? I think socially and intellectually we have made a great deal of progress. However, the majority of the media coverage that abounds paints our picture of something other. I don't think that the prominence of black culture is highlighted enough. I don't think that the true value of our culture and what we brought to this country and what we brought to this world is highlighted enough in America. And it's not to confuse things. It's not to say that our culture is better than any other culture. I don't believe in one being better than the next. I believe we are equally valuable and we have contributed. But what the light is shone on most of the time are the negatives. You know what I'm saying? I'm a student of engineering. I love inventors. My heroes are innovators, and the black culture has given a lot to this world as far as innovation is progression. Even if you even want to get more technical and take it back to the foundation of the American economy being built off of tobacco and cotton back in the day, who grew and picked the cotton and the tobacco? A lot of the black slaves. So we contributed so much, and there's so much value there that is often lost because a lot of it actually has been forcibly erased from the history books. And not enough people today are actually seeking it out and telling the story properly, which is what I love about what we're doing, is because we are telling a side of the story that has never been shown before in this way. But there's a lot of value to where we are and where we've come as a culture. It just needs to be highlighted more because there's so much here that people don't know about. You know what I mean? And the question is, why don't they know?
That's a good question. My last question for you is, John Legend has been co-signed to this production and back
Yeah.
to this project. So how do you feel? Let's talk about that.
John Legend coming on. I feel great, actually. I've met John in Social Standings, another one of the executive producers, a part of John's production team. His name is Mike Jackson, and he's a good friend of mine. So when he told me that they were coming on, I was overjoyed. I mean, they have the experience. A lot of people don't know that John is and his production team have been in the television and film game for a while as far as producing soundtrack. Of course, a lot of people know they did 12 Years a Slave, and a lot of people know they did Selma. But they have the experience. They understand the content and the subject matter. And as far as jumping onto our team, anything I'm involved in, whenever we get a new team member, I'm like, how are you going to elevate us? And they definitely have the standing power and the foundation, the basics to take us to a completely different level. And I mean, I'm personally a fan of John's work, as I have been, over the years. I mean, the man is killing it. You can't deny that. But he knows what he's doing. His production team knows what he's doing. Like I said, my boy Mike Jackson is a part of his production team, and they are on top of their game. So all I see is just beauty, beauty, beauty in the future.